Hey, yo, we're back out on Saturday, the 29th. I have the date correct now. Got a phone call first thing this morning from Bob. Bob watched the video. Don't cut on that pipe, Robert. So he's looking for another one, but I think I'm just going to call Robinson, and he's treated me really well, working with different diameter and different wall thickness of tubing for my KZ or ICC. The later homologations had a two-dimension U-tube. The original back in the day, the first probably at least 3 or 4 homologations, at least of the Vortex anyway, had a standard 1 inch or whatever the metric equivalent of just a hair bigger than an inch is, and then they went halfway in that dimension, and then there was a weld in the middle, and they went to a little bit bigger tube. So he was really cool about getting me the right size tubes and stuff, and sending me bent pieces for next to nothing. I mean, it costs more to ship them than he even charged me for the tubing. So we're going to call him on the Robinson Torque Tube website. There's all different kinds of stuff. They make custom pipes for mini bikes and stuff for these overhead cam engines and what have you. So I'll probably just buy up a bunch of different bits and just weld them together. We're also going to do like the CR250. You supercar guys, if any of you are looking in, you know about the clock tower pipe, right? And how the reason they built that 2-piece pipe is because the damn thing kept breaking, because that motor vibrates like a chainsaw on steroids. And this is going to be no different. Mounting the pipe to the chassis to support it when the chassis is flexing and that 4-stroke engine's vibrating like crazy. From working at the indoor place where we ran Hondas, we pulled a bunch of studs, exhaust studs, right out of the heads. So we were buying, lack of a better word, short block heads and putting our valves and BS into it all the time. Or we tried at first using helicoils, and obviously it didn't work. What we ended up doing there, and I told Bob about it, that stopped all this, is we started using flex pipe. We went from the header tube that came out of the motor, and there was a separate slip-on piece that went over top of it and went down, and then the muffler on those indoor carts are big, almost like an ICC silencer or muffler, real big, that size, keep the noise down, and I guess it helps with some of the fumes, I guess, but whatever. We'd use flexible tubing, and Rusty, if you're looking to Rusty, worked in the garage back there for a bunch of years too. It's a lot easier to swap out flexible tubing as it wears out from the heat blowing through it, especially when in the winter, at Christmas time and Thanksgiving, whatever, you got a lot of parties, those go-karts run non-stop. All that heat running through that stuff actually wears it out after a while. So much easier and less expensive to just throw new pieces of pre-cut flex pipe on than it is to work on engines and replacing heads or fixing those torn out studs. And that's Bob's concern. And at this point, the engine's his, so he doesn't want me to destroy it. But at the same time, you got to trust me, Bob. I'm not an idiot. I know what I'm doing. And as I told you before, yesterday in the other video, it is a fashion show. I could have bought a complete go-kart roller for under $500 and had this thing done months ago and been sitting in the house watching racing on TV or something. But what the hell fun is that? You can't make videos doing that, right? I like to build. I like to exercise my muscle up here and build on things. So we're going to run the exhaust out the back of the cart because of what we have designed for the backside, and how we want the car to look. Again, it's a fashion show. I have an idea of what I want this car to look like, and hell or high water, that's what it's going to look like. So, Bob, take it easy, buddy. We ain't gonna hurt your motor. And if that's the case, I'll go in and ask the boss for a raise, and maybe we'll buy it from you. But that's it for now. I cut up these little flat stock pieces to 1/4-inch flat stock and marked them all up, got them all notched out. We're going to go ahead and get the ends trimmed up. Just getting all the weldments ready to go so we can sit down and do all the welding at once. Got the bumper back from Rich, or the porch back from Rich, and the bumper. And we cleaned up the inside real good, and this almost doesn't go, so we're at about 858 to 862 here, and we measured the inside here, and it's anywhere between say 826 and 830, depending on how much pressure you put on the caliper as you're opening it up. So we've got a little ways to go. What we're going to do is we're going to get this stuff done here first, this flat stock stuff. That's the last bit of stuff we need to get cut up for right now. And then we'll go ahead and put the controls back on. We went ahead and cut this all up. As you can see, we put it right up on the drill press and ran the hole saw through. Used the killer Norton 6-inch wheel. It's quite a bit smaller than 6 inches now, but best $5 I ever spent there. I actually bought 2 of those. 36 inches. One cut. Ripped it right off, man, like butter. Went right through it, man. This thing's awesome. And Bob, by the way, mentioned about the coat I was wearing. He noticed the black duct tape on the front. Actually, that's the first RPM racing coat that we had made. That was back in the 90s, 97, 98, something like that. That coat is literally older than dirt. And it doesn't get ripped and worn. It got burnt, just like this is getting, from the grinding, the hot flaming grinding metal coming off this grinder and off the welder as well. So once it gets ripped and a hole in it, then it gets snagged on the edge of the table. It gets torn up. I'm telling you, I'm an apron fella. Usually I wear an apron, especially in the summer videos. You see me wearing the apron. I've burned through, so I was literally on fire. Oh gee, because you're grinding away and it's just throwing the sparks right at you. So you put an apron on because it gets hot, right? And what happens is the apron gets caught on fire. The same thing happens to your coat and your clothes. And there's no sense in, while you're doing stuff like this, going through all your clothes in the house, right? You just keep using it until it doesn't do any good anymore, and you throw it away. But so that's where we're at. We're going to go ahead and get this stuff cut up and rounded off, smoothed over, looking good. We're actually going to put gussets in there as well. Once we get these things in place here, then we'll cut gussets to go in front and rear. I think what we're going to do is we're going to move this tube forward just a bit, because we can only go back a little bit with clearance, so we don't need all this distance here. But we could use some more up front if we end up, getting on a Yamaha or something else later on. Best to have plenty of movement, right? So we want to leave us enough room to put gusset in here and get a threaded bung here for, to push the motor mount forward or whatever. Even if we don't use it on the 4-stroke, we may use it later on, say, a Yamaha or something else. So that's it for now. We'll go ahead and get this stuff cut up and fixed up. Then we'll get the electronics back on here, and we'll buzz this stuff down real quick and get it to fit this porch. Then we'll bring you back with these stuck in the porch, showing you how we're going to get the correct angle on these things, because the porch doesn't come straight in. And then we'll go ahead and do some swap this out. We'll get the vise bolted down, and we'll bring you some gnarly notching on the old drill press. But that's it for RPM. It's a Saturday afternoon. Take it easy, Bob. Take her easy now. Easy. It's all good. We're getting her done.